Alrighty, Doc here from North America. It's the big Tuesday. And as Robin said to me, it's Tuesday, right? I said, kinda, yeah, but it's also Wednesday, you know. I mean, we don't have trading on Friday. But we'll probably have the currency market open on Friday, so we'll do the webinar, because this is a currency webinar. So, you know, it's kind of like these two back-to-back 3-day weekends, which is really cool. We really enjoy it. Let's see what we got going on today. You can see the Swiss moving down on J4X there, and you can see the white line below the dashed yellow line. You know, down here at the, where's Mr. Mouse here? Right there. And then over on Chicago Quant, same situation. The white line is below the zero line, and you know it's in the minus, and it's that's what our dashed yellow line is. Basically, it's like this three-dimensional floating zero line. And then you can see here, you know, all the red dots, and you can see it minus. It's coming off the, you know, the trading range itself. And you can see over here on J4X, same thing. Lots of hinky, ashy bars coming down on it. So that averaging of the hinky ashies match up to a certain extent to our dots. I mean, pretty close, like 85% of the time, which is really cool. The only difference really is time-wise. You know, you know, ours is more head than anything else in the public arena, so that's the only difference. But if you didn't have my work to look at this on J4X right there. All right, and so what we're really seeing at the moment is the dollar is a little weaker. You know, I mean, they're trying to, you know, I don't know what they're trying to do at this point. We're 3 days from the end of the year. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 4 days, depending on the product and the country and your taxes. You know, and the end result is that markets are very thin, not a lot of volume. And one thing is for sure, I don't see any sellers. Sellers seem to be far and in between. So it's something to think about, you know, in a market. Who knows? You know, beginning of the year, those buyers may be still there, and those sellers may not be coming back for a little while longer. They may just let it ride, you know, just let it climb. And it's not hard to, you know, basically complain about that. You know, most things are long. When you ever look at those recommendations from the brokerage houses, it's always like 43 things that they recommend, 2 things they want to be neutral, or maybe sometimes it's like 5 things they want to be neutral in, and there's like 1 short. It's never, I've never in my lifetime have ever seen it any different. You know, 88 different things they want to buy. You know, 12 things that they're, what do they call it? They don't call it standing. They call it, you know, undecided, or you know, neutral about. That's it, neutral. They consider it neutral. And then the funniest part is always like 1 or 2 out of that 100 total is a short. That's it. You know, you don't see like 30 shorts and 40 longs. You see like 3 shorts and 50 longs. So, and that's where we are. And at this point in time, so that natural, you know, the lack of volume right now, you know, being the end of the year, and this is a lot of tax stuff going on for the last 5-6 weeks. You know, basically what it really comes down to is that, you know, the thing's going to drift in its natural tradition, you know, basically up. And that is the stock market. When it comes to the currency pairs, you can see, as we've shown you over and over and over again, they seem to function in some type of range now for like the last year and a half, and before that there was a range before that got adjusted. So they're adjusting these ranges every year or so. And obviously somewhere along the line, this range will be adjusted again. And so you can see here, they're, you know, when we scrunch it up, you can see how they hang on that range for all the way back into, you know, the middle of 2000 and change, that type of thing, and it bounced underneath. This was a real surprise. I remember that. We can talk about this on the Swiss like we did yesterday. We went and looked at the 2015 Swiss pairs trade against the euro, you know, and how that much reminded us of the Turkish Lira action. You can see here they hung out underneath the trading range then. I remember stunned then, and you know, went on for like almost 2 months, and then they climbed back up into the range and went, you know, almost the same distance above it, and then they slid back down into the range again. and then it just kind of hover around that range. It just, you can see it marries those lines. So that is the Swiss. Now let's take a look at cable, not cable, but the what is it, the Euro. Let's put it up on the J4X. But the Euro yesterday tried to get into a daily sell. Oh, so close, so close. And let's put it right there. There we are. You see it's bouncing up, so that's pretty cool. Yesterday they were trying to drive it down, and you can see here lots of green. Like here we are green. And what's interesting is we have green and no dot, and then green. It just shows you how tight the market was getting. And in this case here, you know, you can see the same thing: green, 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 and moving up. This was trying to move up. You can see these lines trying to move up. It was edging the sell there. Let's see, where's our white and line? There we go. You see it right there on the J4X. It was trying and was strong, you know, and it held on. You know, for 4 days it's held on as a fifth day, and last week we did close in a weekly buy right there. So that is really showing us that they do want to bring this thing up a little bit more after all that selling. Let's take a look at it on J4X on a weekly. And same thing there. It's trying to lift up just like we're doing on our weekly here. Again, a really great tool right here. Really great tool. Look at that long ride of Hinkies being red, especially with it like breaking down here. It refused to get through there. You know, very good. Just like, you know, we were in a weekly sell, like the same way all the way back in here, back in late September. So you know, both work really well. This system is a good system here on the J4X. All right, now from there. Cable is doing what we thought it was going to do last week, and then last week at the end of the week we thought for sure it would do it this week, and it is finally doing it. Hooray for us. And let's check out Mr. and Mrs. Cable. And there's the cable on J4X on a weekly basis. And there it is on Chicago Quant. You can see doing the same thing, lifting through right here. It's lifting through right there. We are you know, trying to push up after a few weeks in the sell. In the sell since here, and it hit, boy, it played the bottom end of the range. We have this range in particular, we have it Fibonacci'd at this point. I forget what was the logic at the time. I mean, I could figure it out. It was someone asked something about the Fibonacci and the sequence and the range, and the next thing you know, Doc gets a brainstorm or a brain cramp, either way you want to look at it. And you know, we threw the Fibonacci lines in instead of having the dotted lines. Indeed, indeed. So you can see here it's bounced off of the bottom end of the range there, half choking there, and at the same time you can see it's going up after the, what's that, the 0.23 is it? I think that's what that was, 0.23. And you know, right there, it's just slowly drifting up. We figured it might go to the yellow or the. Let's move that over a little bit. Let's do this. Bring it down a little bit like that. There we are. So that's the 3.8 right there. The yellow line is the 3.8. The green line is the 50 percentile. The second yellow line is the 0.62, and then obviously the blue up top is the 0.76 versus the 23. So, you know, that's bouncing, really bounced off the bottom end of that range. And the weekly's joining in at the same time, so that's kind of a comfort level for any longs out there. Speaking of longs, middle age, I think you got your 16 on the corn. I saw that, or 16 and a half, or 17, something like that. So. You know, it's been, I mean, I made the teeny weeny little joke yesterday. Well, I guess, you know, the commodities are being really bought up because, you know, people need to eat. So we're taking another sip of our tea. Of course people need to eat. And America can feed somewhere between 25 and 50% of the world at a given moment. Unfortunately, their governments, when we give them that food, they don't distribute it so freely, as easily as we give it. Too bad. But anyway, that's where we stand at this point in time. Is that you can see the cable lifting up nicely. All right. Now from there, what we do is we drift over to the Turkish Lira. First one we look at is usually dollar Turkish Lira. But now on the fact check spreadsheet, right there, we now follow the Euro Turkish Lira instead of the dollar one. 6 weeks in a sell, 15 weeks in a buy. Something, eh? Oop, didn't mean to blow that up. And so let's take a look at it on the J4X. And there is the dollar Turkish Lira. We'll put a daily in there too. I'm sure it's holding up pretty well on the weekly. Let's see what it looks like on the weekly. And let's get it up on the other screen. Alright. That's right, we have to go down to the bottom now, that's right. Because we've changed them. Yeah, so you can see the weekly, this is the weekly. And it's still burying itself down there. Whereas we are still in the weekly buy and refusing to go into the weekly sell. You can see it's starting to turn up. And at the same time, today, the daily is trying to turn up too. We've got that going on. Now, let's take a look at on a daily basis right there. And it's got a little green hinky, you can see that. Matching up to the little greens we've had over the last 2 days here. And we've had that volatility signal right there. And we have mentioned, oh, there we go, middle age. Yeah, let's see, I should have been soybeans. It's a lush. Oh my God. When we go over to the commodities today, oh yeah. Yeah, I put that up on Dukascopy every day, the soybean, you know. I mean, wow. I mean, it's gone from like 12 and change, and I mean change like 12.10, 12.12, 12.14, $12.15, something like that. It's heading for $14 now, isn't it? It's like 13 and a half. So, you are dead right there, huh? And bean meal. You had a bean meal, right? Remember Robin was getting into the bean meal. You had a bean meal, didn't you? That thing's going from 320 to 420. That's a 25% move. A 25% move in bean meal. And I thought you had some bean meal also. Let's see, what else is there? So, yeah, Turkish Lira. You know, you can see that there. You got me going on that, on the grains. You know, grains are like currencies at this point. Anything denominated in dollars turns into a currency now, because us derivative rocket scientists will turn them into synthetics. So we turn them into bonds, basically, you know, due to the interest rate factor, and not pay attention to what it is. So it wouldn't matter if you were trading rocks, you know, we'd find a way to, you know, what we would do is we take the options and take the premium and the volatility and turn it into a position. Oh, you got out of it already? Oh, where do we go to the grains? I think that baby is just kicking strong. You know what? That's it. Yeah, just had to instigate me. Oh, I got to go there. Let's go there. We got to go there and just take a look at it. I think it's been in the meal's been in a weekly buy for, I don't know, 6, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 5 weeks, something like that. 9 weeks, 7 weeks. We'll find it in a second. Now my curiosity is jumping up. And let's see, right. Meal, John Meal. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8. This is the 9th week. And it went from the 320-ish area on the weekly buy, and now it's pretty much, what's the high there? 419.70. That's a dollar move in a $3.20 product. You know, that's like 23%. Wow. I mean, you know, maybe more. What am I saying? It's like no, it's over that. It's more than a 20. It's like 29, 31% move. Yowzer. Oh yeah. Watch out, bull market. We should say that on the floor. Watch out, bull market. It's like, you know, vehicles coming by, someone says, watch out, watch for the train, you know. Watch out, bull market. Indeed. And then sewer beans. Look at the Jan sewer beans. Those things, oof. 1369. They came in from the $12 area. We went into the weekly buy. We went into a daily buy here. At the end of the week, we went into a weekly buy, and it's just rocking and a rolling and a reeling, taking off. All right, we'll go back to the currencies. Oh, you can't see them. Hold on a second. Yeah, all right, you can't see them. It won't matter. We'll go back to it. We'll go to. You'll see this in a few seconds. I want to finish off the currencies. Unless you want to see something. If you want to see something, I will show it to you. I will turn that screen on. But right now, I'm going to leave it on the currency screen, and we'll go back to it. I was just dying to take a look at those numbers. I had to go see what those numbers were. I just had to. I really did. All right, let's shoot over to the Euro Turkish Lira, which I think is the real game in town, and that's why we've moved it on the spreadsheet. Euro Turkish Lira, right there. And you know, we haven't really talked about it, but I was really impressed. I said it once, tongue in cheek, but I was really impressed. Their drop dead was our number. I really thought that was impressive. The central bankers were really worried about it, and that drop dead turned into our number, 18 on the US dollar Turkish lira. You know, they just, remember I was yakking about 18, and when it got through the 18 on the euro side, I was really nervous about that. Thought, oh my God, the poor thing's going to 24. And so I was really impressed that they at least pulled their trigger of doing something, you know. They had to figure something to do to protect it. And in this case, it's they've gone Federal Reserve on this, I guess you could say. In other words, it's become a product that can be taxed to pay for in the country itself on their budget. But yeah, there's the Turkish lira. You see the green there too. And let's check it out right here. Euro CAD, Euro Turkish lira right there. And you can see there, it's trying to get into the daily buy also, just like the dollar one is. And the weekly is refusing to give up. I figure it's going to settle in this area for a little while. Maybe this area right there. I imagine that's how it's going to play out. I gotta be surprised if they broke these lows. I mean, I could see them take it up there and then fall back down to it again and do that type of thing. Remember, they now are giving free puts away to investors. So, you know, they're going to abuse that as much as they can. You know, in some ways, there's going to be banks and institutions that will hold on to the Turkish lira because they know that they have a free put now, which is nice, you know. I don't think it's going to work perfect, but I think it's going to be something. You know, nothing better than a free put to be able to protect your tools, you know, your products. All right, from there we go to Canada. Canadians come off its top end of the range right there. Let's put it up over here on J4X. Right there. You see it's trying to lift up. We're in the daily sell for a bunch of days. You see the red hinkies on J4X. See the white line piercing right there. The floating zero line, as I call it, or three-dimensional. And you can see right here, same situation. It broke through. And you can see this, you know, the weekly is dancing its way down tightly to the zero line, but not there yet, but pretty darn close. That pressure is on. And now, ooh, I did that again, didn't I? There we go. And now, let's see, so that concludes the first look of some pairs trades. What we'll do is we'll just go over to Canadian. Since Canadian is driving down, we're assuming oil's going up, and we're assuming gold is going up. So let's do that. Let's go check out gold and oil. First one right there is gold, so we can look at that. And we can zip over to here, like so. And there is, that's crude oil. Crude oil is up on ours. Let's put gold up there. There's gold. It's up like a 2-month high or something like that, or not a 2-month high, but definitely a monthly high, that's for sure. And you know, it hasn't taken out that high yet. And I think you got your 15, 16 there too. That's why you want to try to binary it. You got to find a broker that'll binary it. You know? And then you got the weekly is flirting with a weekly sell at the moment. Oh, figures. And it's probably a thin market just the same. And then you can see it over here on J4X, same situation, moving up nicely, firm right there, lots of green hinkies, matching up with our green dots, 4 days of green dots. So that's pretty cool. Now we'll take a look at the crude oil. Let's go to light sweet Texas T right there, and we'll put it up there too. You see, same thing. Strength, strength, and strength. And in the daily buy, didn't make it into the weekly buy last week in this month, right, the front month, but we thought that was very fascinating because the back month did, which I thought was very curious. Went into the weekly buy last week, and so, you know, it's tells us something about some of these products. You know, the back months are much more consistent, you know, short-term pressures versus longer-term pressure. So that's where we are with the two there. And then from that we assume we do the same thing again like we do when we look at the dollar Canadian pair. We now assume at the same time that we're going to see a dollar South African rand pair moving down in value. So let's check that out. Right there. And let's see what it looks like on the currency side. J4X alone, I just saw that just as I clicked the screen. Green hinky, ooh. Same thing over here. We're trying to turn up here too. So don't tell me this means that they're going to start putting pressure on the metals complex again. Can't they just let this thing rally for the year or something? I mean, there's only 3 days left in the poor year. Do they have to beat this thing up all day long? Didn't anybody tell the Federal Reserve metal side of the trading desk that we have inflation and it wasn't transitory? Maybe they're all flying under the assumption that it's transitory still. I mean, OMG. Didn't anybody hear about inflation? Now you can see the weekly, which I really thought was great. The South African Rand last week went into the sell here. So I was like, ooh, okay, yeah, not bad. I remember thinking about that on Friday. Now let's take a look at it over here on J4X. And I bet it did the same thing. I mean, that long slide it's going to with the hinkies, they got to start to shift the gears and even make it red last week. Yeah, see, it did the same thing. And I'll see the line pierced it there at the end of the week also. So, I mean, doesn't somebody get the memo there at the Federal Reserve metals desk? Leave the product alone just for a little while to pretend, like you know, pretend that there's inflation. Wow. Honestly, you almost want to believe there's an insider game going on there. You know, I've read articles now that really claim that a lot of hedge funds are doing the heavy lifting for the Federal Reserve. In other words, they're all just sitting on the product at this point. They're not afraid of it. I don't know how they can do that, but they. I mean, obviously they're getting support from the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is giving them opportunity to push it down. So, and they're blowing up the whole metal market. All right. Oh, you know, I want to show you something which really surprised me. I want to show you Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down. Let's put it up on J4X first. But Bitcoin is down. You know, we've been cheering the Bitcoin on, hoping that it's going to be a very diverse product, but it's down two grand today. You can see it's bending over here, over on Chicago Quant. Let's put that right there. Let's see, is that right? That's wrong. Let me get rid of that. Doing the same thing. It's trying to roll over. Let's see if we can get that on the screen real quick. trying to roll over. We were flirting with the weekly buy yesterday, but it's failed with this slide right here. So we were above the zero line. You know, it's just really surprising not to see these cryptos really break out against the inflation. Wouldn't it be nice if they really, we'll see after the first of the year, see if they really take off because of the inflation and it's dissolved in like tax season profit taking. You have to imagine, depending on where you purchased it this year in 2021, it could be 24,000, it could be 25, 26,000. So the thing has gone from that to almost 75,000, and now it's trading at like 51, 48,000. You got to figure there's a lot of profit takers out of there somewhere. All right, from there, we'll go back to the ruble. Ruble's giving us a little perk up, you can see right there. It's even trying to get through, it's got through the zero line there. And let's see what it looks like on J4X. Right there. Just as we thought that was starting to do something positive, because you can see it's playing with the weekly sell this week. Thinking that maybe they'll walk away from it a little bit. I heard, I think I did mention this yesterday, I heard a couple analysts now are starting to tote, saying that, you know, if it wasn't for this Crimea thing, they would be big buyers in the Russian Federation. It's just a matter of time before they get that whole thing figured out on the Russian Federation side, and then you'll have the crazy Americans in there buying like they do in China. But at least in Russia Federation, they have a floating currency, so you know what your asset's worth all the time. Whereas, you know, the biggest, if I was a money manager, you know, right now trading, you know, doing the China thing, until that currency floats, I would not really want to participate too much on it. I mean, I would only trade things you can buy options with. So in other words, you know, you buy these ETFs in the States and then do option trades around it, because one day that currency is not going to be 7 anymore. It could be like 14 or 21, you know. Yeah, think about that, traders. One day that currency could end up floating, you know, with not much of it, not with them wanting to float, just it becomes a floating currency, and the out of country is, you know, traded at, you know, 20 or 30, and the in country is 8. That's what makes me nervous about the product all the time, and I don't like to be involved in any country that doesn't have a floating currency. So their GDP, if you want to believe the government fixed price of the currency, you know, which seems to be almost based off the dollar, it is based off the dollar, you know, it's a scary number. You know, it could be, you know, if you see the currency go to 21, I mean, the ruble went from 4 to 8, you know, to 16. Now it's what's that? Ruble's trading at 73. I mean, even if they only lose a third of what the ruble is right now, that becomes 20 something, 25. I mean, that there's not going to be a 6% GDP at that rate. It'll be like a quarter plus or 1.5 minus GDP. So, I heard that. What was it? Someone wrote an article this morning I was reading where they were talking about how the Russian Federation and China, I guess they're talking removing the Russian Federation out of SWIFT or something like that, you know, some type of sanction. And I thought, you know, that's not the best of ones to do, because that's basically a dollar banking clearing thing, SWIFT I think it is. So in the end result is that you don't want to chase them away from that, but you know, the pipeline things are better, you know, the real raw economic things. And so they said, oh, now it's pushing China and Russian to have their own currency, and I started laughing to myself. It's like, can you imagine them trying to put $1 trillion into some new currency? I mean, first of all, the China, you know, the People's Bank of China has $1 trillion in U.S. Treasury bonds. They own something like 10% of our bonds. And you know, the biggest investor in American bonds is Americans. We own almost 50% of them. But China has about 10%. Japan has like around 10%. The European Union has around 10%. You know, that type of thing. So there's 80% right there. I mean, you know, so then you sprinkle the rest around to Great Britain and so forth. But can you imagine them trying to like sell $1 trillion worth of bonds and run to some invented currency that probably won't be fixed? I mean, it will be probably won't be floating. It'll be fixed. So, yeah. Then they're gonna have to try to get out of it. And when they find themselves to be the only buyer, then you know they can't get out of it. So they're not going to do the cockroach hotel situation in China. I don't see how any of these countries can run away from the dollar at this point. I hear them talk about it. I understand the frustration. I agree with, you know, a third of what they say. But I don't see any other vehicle. That's the problem. We all, us old currency traders, all hoped for the European Union to have a euro. You know, we merged. You know, I'm an old Deutschmark trader. You know, we merged all these European currencies into the euro. We were all hoping that it would be a very solid competitor against the dollar. It's not the best competitor. It's just a competitor at this point. It's the second most active currency in the world. It's still not what we expected. We expected a much stronger product. We just don't get that much stronger product. Hey Douglas, how you doing? Good morning to you. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you. Indeed. So anyway, yeah, you know, we don't have the competitiveness. So I mean, I don't see China running to the European Union and buying $1 trillion and selling $1 trillion of U.S. Treasuries. That I don't see. That's when I'll believe those stories have some teeth in them. Right now, I don't think they have anything. All right. So from there, we go over to the yen. You can see the yen, you know, up the top end of its range here. Not range. We don't have a range set up on this thing. You can see here it's moving up. It's in a buy. We haven't really put this into a range. This thing is going all over the place. I think the range here is like, was it like par to par 15 or something like that? So we may be at the top end of the range. There's par 15, that line right there. Par 10 is just down below here. I'm sorry, par is right below here. So it's bounced around the 105s over the last year and a half, since 2019, 2 years, and 2.5 years or something like that, because that's July right there of 2019. So July of 2020 is 1 year, July of 2021 is 2 years, and here we are in December. So it's over 2.5 years. And so that's what we're doing, is we're bouncing around this area here, and it is at the top end of its range, you can see. We don't mark it, but it seems to be. And at the same time, you can see on a very short-term basis, you know, we went into the weekly buy last week, and we are going up, which means it's losing money against the value. Happy New Year to you. Oh, what's that New Year song? Guy Lombardi used to sing it. I can't remember now. But yes, Happy New Year's to you too. GBP CAD, let's check that out. Let's see where the GBP CAD is. GBP yen. And let's go on Aussie yen. Let's see. Okay, let's go to this. Let's copy that, activate that. Copy window. I'm not sure where it got to. Could have sworn we had that up there. And, oh no, I won't do that. Copy window, paste window. Let's get that in there. CAD. I thought we had that in there. There we go. CAD. Close that. So you can see, it went into the weekly buy right there. It's holding up pretty well. Daily buy right there. I like that. Look how consistent that thing is. Oop. Let's grab that out of there and move that there. Went into the sell right there? No, right there. So you missed the sell-off being in the buy, so that's good. That's a winner-winner chicken dinner. And then there's your weekly buy. Just got you back to norm, so that's a break-even at best. And then, let's see. There's the buy there. There's the sell there. So that protected you again. So you didn't lose money there, and you didn't lose money, and you didn't lose money there. You made little money here, and it was in a buy here, and you got into the weekly buy here and barely made any money. So 2 bareleys and 2 great trades, and it's still going on. That's the interesting part. It's still going on. It's still making that. Oh, there we go. Put this in here like that. There's a buy there, and then there's your sell right there. Get rid of that. Remove, draw. There we are. So there's that. There's the British pound CAD. Save that. Save workspace. And then what's the other one? The Aussie yen. Do it there. Aussie yen. Good. Alright, blew that one up. Let's see, what was that? Aussie yen. There it is. There you go. Let's see how that looks. Let's see. There's your weekly sell there. Went into the weekly buy here. There it is right there. Went into the weekly sell right there. And went into a weekly buy last week. Right there. So that's that. That's the sell. That's the buy again, right there. Nice. Some real trending trades there. And then, where did we go from here? We're going into a daily buy there. And then went into a sell there. And back into a daily buy, which was caught the whole ride up. Wow. There's a winner, winner. Dozens of chicken dinners. There. And then went into a sell where? Where'd it go into a sell? Not there. Right there. There's your sell. And it went back into a buy right there. And gave you, it was going into the sell, so you couldn't take the buy. You just weren't, short at that point. That's what it came down to. So there. And then we went into the sell. We closed in the weekly sell here, and then I guess it's right there. Is that? I'll tell you in a second. Yep, that's the one right there. That's the close in the daily sell right there. And then it was smack city. There was more chicken dinners all over the place. And then it went into the buy here, so you're not short anymore. So you missed the bounce. It's quite alright. No problems there. With all the wins you had, who cares if you don't make some money? You don't lose it. That's the key right there, is just don't lose it. And then the sell is right there. And it goes, and now we are headed back to the buy, which is right there. And I think we flipped out of it. We did. We flipped out and went into a buy and then a sell. So it went into a sell there. And went right back into the buy there. And that's where we are. More winner, winner, chicken dinners. So that's the name of the game there with the Aussie yen. There we go. Cool, cool, and cool. It's still riding. Look at that. It's still riding up. How's that, Douglas? Ave, okay? Let's save that one. Save workspace. Save workspace as. Dukascopy day, weekly, Forex. There we go. And so there it is. Alright. So, where are we at this point in time? Where did we leave off? We were doing the yen. Mexican peso. Let's finish off with the Mexican peso. And we'll be done the pairs. Unless anybody would like to see another pair, we'll find it. And we'll look at it. We are not bashful around here about doing technical analysis right smack dab live. Because the math is that good. Alright, so there. Let's see, let's put the peso up on J4X too at the same time. Right there. And as you can see, trying to get into a daily buy. It's been in a daily sell since here. It hasn't really gone anywhere. It's just kind of slipping and sliding around. Two different volatility signals there, the red and green and the red and green. But the weekly is closed in a weekly sell last week, and it's trying to pressure it down. No problem, Douglas. Like I said, it is so much fun to answer that type of question, like, you know, what is this product doing or what's that? It's so rare for my math not to be able to deal with it. The only thing we have to normally do is, depending on the beta of the product itself, you know, use a gas line 3 or gas line 5. That's about the only question. You know, it just adjusts for the beta factor itself. That's the volatility, really. All right. So from there, we go back to what do we go back to? We go back to the commodities, right there. As I said, wouldn't it be nice if Bitcoin and, you know, all the others, Ethereum and all like that, would compensate for inflation and the uncertainty side of it? I guess we haven't reached a high enough level of uncertainty yet. I think that's what it really comes down to. So let's take a look at, we'll go back to the metals complex, and let's take a look at silver. Silver trying to lift up. Well, last I saw it, the weekly was touching the 0 line. See, like there, I had a little circle and the whole bit going on. Look, it's even 3. See it over here on the column. 3, right there. So it's plus. You know, our weekly's lifting up. We're starting to challenge the late November lows, I guess you could say. Is that what it really is? It's so sad, isn't it? We're just playing, there's the November low of like the 3rd, and then the last, you know, 5-6 days, there's the lows again. We're just barely getting our heads in silver back up over that. But we're trying, you know, it's trying. And like I said, when you go over to gold, it's like, doesn't anybody know that it's not transitory? Transitory, man. Oh, joy. Transitory. Alright. What an embarrassment of a Federal Reserve. Ugh. The politics has really creeped into it way too much. Alright, now, from there, we'll jump over to, we saw the, that's what it is. I wanted to show you. There's Crude. You can see Crude is trying to get into a weekly buy this week, and that's the spot. That's February Crude, which expires in something like 18 days or 22 days. Remember, February Crude expires the 3rd week of January. So now let's check out the back month that we're watching, the June contract right there. You see that did slide into a weekly buy last week, and it's still in a daily buy for like the last 5 days. As we sip our tea. All right, so that's the back month of the energy factor. And all that talk yesterday, we talked about the natural gas. Let's see what's going on there today. I know American natural gas was lifting last I saw it. Right there it is. Not lifting as much as it was before. It's come back down a little bit, but it's on a second day of a buy, and the weekly is trying to pierce. We should turn that on. Style. Check mark. There it is. You can see it's a plus. So it's 14 or 15 or 16 something. What is that? 20. Where is it? That is 16. Yeah. So it's at 16 now. So we're seeing the strength come into the natural gas, and we talked about all those boats going across the Atlantic. They were sending tons of them over to Asia because Asia's having the same problems with the natural gas, trading like 5 times more in the value in the United States. Okay. Now let's go over to, let's do it on J4X. Let's take a look at the natural gas. Let's look at the British one to get a flavor of what's going on in Europe at the moment. That's Brent. There's soybeans. We should call them thermal units or something. British. Is that it? The PLC? No, that's not it. Natural gas grid Britain, that's it. Excuse me. And so it's still trading up pretty high. So it's bouncing around the all-time highs there. What's that one? That's BAS System. That's a British Aerospace. Okay. Yeah. So that's the action we're seeing here in natural gas in Europe. Look at that move, going from 850 to 1100. Yeah, it was trading $12 and $14. Now it's like 30 some odd dollars, and we're trading at $3. That's, you know, I mean, that $3 handle. You could round it out and say we're trading at $4 and they're trading at like, you know, $36. It's a pretty dramatic difference. And so there's the natural gas situation in Europa. Then let's see. So we looked at natural gas. We looked at the 2 crudes. Let's go check. We saw silver. Seeing how silver is acting. Let's see what platinum's doing real quick. Oh, wait a minute. We got a question, so that's good. What does Feb and April hogs look like, Doc? Let's check them out. They don't have hogs on J4X. All they have is the only commodity I think I see they have is just the soybeans, which is curious. Surprised they don't have hogs or cattle, because the hogs are an index now, so they could actually use the American index. Let's put the soybeans up there, because those things kind of all march together. So here's the soybeans. Now they're trading in the 70s. Weren't we looking at 68 earlier? Wow. Okay, so now let's go over and check out, let's see, which ones was it? It was, where was it? Feb hogs. So let's go look at Feb hogs. Yeah, there's beanies. Feb hogs right there. You can see Feb hogs hasn't started trading yet today. That's from last night. You can see we've been in a weekly buy for 2, 4, 6 weeks now. 5 weeks, I'm sorry. 2, 4, Yeah, 6 weeks, going to 7th week. Been a daily buy since this crazy spike there. And then let's see what we have on another hog. There's April hogs. April hogs went into a sell at 2 weeks back. And we can steal that. And just put that right there. Oh, no, we shouldn't do that. We should leave that there. So April hogs are trying to get into a buy right there as we speak. Right there. Change that color to that. That up there. Move that over to there. And did go into a sell right here. Let's put another one in there like that. So it went into the daily sell right there, hogs, and then 2 days later, right back into the buy again. There. So there's the hoggies, April and Feb. All right. And again, looking at those soybeans on J4X, wow. Lots of fun there, huh? They're definitely taking that puppy up. Yep, what's a high? 75.50 or something like that now. What a great move. What a great move. All right. Oh, I know. I was going to go take a look at platinum real quick. Let me go take a look at platinum. I wonder if it's up to $1,000. 985. Climbing with a high of 986. Been in a daily buy since like here. Still in that weekly sell. I don't love it. You know what? Let me just look and see which one's the front month. It's April or January is. Let's see. Front month in metals. April might be the front month. Open interest is so much bigger. Yep, April's the front month now. So let's put April in there. Let's see what it looks like there. There she is. There she blows. Same situation. The weekly's still on a weekly sell. The daily buy came in. Where was it? I guess right here. It's wide now. It's so tight. So it goes into. It can't go into daily buy there. So it goes into daily buy right here. It bounces. It doesn't go into a sell. It zeroes out the next day. Then this one here starts to climb. You know, it's just a little bit. It's a weekend. So it's been in a buy since there, but nothing major. You know, the high is what, 87, and on the front contract it's 86. So it's not exactly, you know, that explosive. But we do watch and we do hope we'll see some type of more positive situation there. Indeed. And so, what else can we say about that? I guess that's about it. When it comes to the platinum, I'm going to save that since it's the front month. Save workspace. Okay. What else? What else can we come up with here? What else can we say? Let's see, we've done that. Oh, we should take a look at stock indices. We can do that. Let's do the stock indices. Yep, indeed. Let's go over to the stock indices because we're at the end of the road anyway. Just in case, let's just check the chat line one more time. Let's see, I'm kind of disappointed in corn's slow movement. You know, there's tons of it. I mean, everybody has it. It's over $6 a bushel. You can't be too upset about that. Just the way we're looking at soybeans on J4X, where it's, you know, heading for $13.75, heading for the $14 area. The March contract is a little behind, really. Now you can see it's at 13, but let's see, where is it at? What's the other ones? There's September. No, so yeah, September is the new crop, really. No, that's is that 575? Okay, so was it July? I think it's July or May. May corn looks really good. Let's see, where is it at? There is March corn. There's May corn. May corn is a little bit firmer, you know, which is kind of odd because May corn is still the old crop. So it says a lot. And then I think I have July in here somewhere. I thought I had July corn in here. Where's July corn? There's September corn. I don't have the July corn. Let me go find July corn and then we're going to go get out of here. You know, I think July corn is the strongest, which is kind of like the beginning of the new crop, you know, that type of thing. So, you know, I mean, July corn, there's going to be a quarter of the country might be yielding July corn at that point, you know. Let's see, corn. Yeah, July corn, I don't know. So May corn, that's it. May corn, I have May corn. That's what it is. May corn, where is it at? It's right up here. So May corn is, again, that's the old crop, you know. Where's May corn? There's May beans. There's May corn. I did show you that. That's May corn. All right, so basically May and July corn and March corn are all about the same. And no one's really reaching for the rest of them. In the back, it's a contango in reverse. So September is 576, December is like 554. They're discounting it. You know, it's the cost, which is kind of surprising, you know. I guess that's a supply and demand thing out of it all. Just the way soybeans are. All right, traders, we got to get out of here. This is Doc from North America. We will catch you all on the same page, same time tomorrow on Happy to Hump Day. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Ta-ta, traders.